Can the Bengals offense keep it rolling in Tennessee? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and that is the question. We're just a couple of days away from Bengals Titans in Nashville, and I got to start off by saying thank you for subscribing. Numbers keep going up. I love all the views. I love all the comments. Yes, even from Titans fans. And we looked at the defense yesterday, how the Bengals defense could combat the big three, literally and figuratively, those big dudes, those trees, those monsters, and Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones on the Titans offense. But let's flip it. How will the Bengals handle things on offense against this Titans defense? You're going to hear from Joe Burrow. You're going to hear from Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan. But first, I wanted to get to something that's kind of unique. And I wrote about this at allbengals.com. And I'm going to look down a little bit if you're watching and not just listening to the video, because I want to get the quote exactly right. But if you remember or heard, hopefully, it came out Wednesday night, early Thursday morning is when I posted it at allbengals.com. But the Titans adjusted their ticket exchange policy. And basically, after tickets are purchased, either directly from the Titans or through approved NFL sites, and it's the approved NFL sites, they can't be transferred to someone else until 24 hours before kickoff. And so let's use the quote here. Brooke Ellenberger is the Titans vice president of ticketing. And she said, quote, "We want Nissan Stadium to be two-tone blue. And so by limiting this transfer window, it also limits the number of visiting team fans that we'll have in the stadium. By limiting that transfer time, it would limit some of the resale and some of that transfer activity that would happen in advance." So basically, the Titans are trying to make sure that their fans don't sell tickets to you, being Bengals fans, because that's what most of our watchers are, because it is only a 4-hour trip from Nashville or from Cincinnati to Nashville. And I'm making it, and a lot of Bengals fans are making it. And so I think that the Titans were feeling that, and so they make this quick change. And I think it's going to be a big wah, wah, wah. That's what I think is going to happen there. I don't think this is going to work. So basically, what it means is by 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, that's when the purchase tickets from the Titans or their approved sites will be eligible to be transferred. Okay, so then they can start selling. So if you don't have your ticket yet, you plan on going, it's okay. You could still get it. And there's still other websites to get tickets that are reliable, but that's the point, right? Is they're trying to limit it and thinking that will help. Just keep the faith if you don't have your ticket yet. I know a lot of people that are kind of waiting for the prices to go down. You might have to wait till game day to get them electronically. The good news is it's not a 1 p.m. kick. It's not going to ruin your tailgating if you wake up on Saturday morning and you say, all right, where's my ticket? Or you're driving down on Saturday morning. And I don't think a lot of Bengals fans will be doing that. I know a lot of them that are going to be there Friday night. If so, see you there. But wow, like to me, and I haven't talked to Zach Taylor about this, but if I was Zach Taylor, and I'm the type of person that likes to find motivation in any little thing, and who else does? Well, Joe Burrow does, and I'm not comparing myself to him, but I get motivated and competitive about everything, every damn little thing, like just anything. I'm not going to tell you how to get to me, but I do. And in our editor, Andrew Fox Miller knows this. And so like this to me, I'm like, oh, so you don't think that Bengals fans will still show up. So if you plan on going, you still should go, because I do want to see a lot of orange and black in the stands. I'll be on the field before the game. Maybe I'll do our pregame video as always. Maybe I'll take some video of all the Bengals fans in attendance that are making the Titans brass upset. I just think it's a silly move because of all the negative pushback it's going to get. I'm going to go on Local 12, WKRC in Cincinnati on Friday afternoon, or on Thursday afternoon rather, about this. They weren't having me on to talk about the game, and then they reach out and they say, hey, do you want to come on and talk about this? Like, it's creating headlines, and you know what I think it's going to do? It's going to have a negative pushback where more Bengals fans are going to say, you know what, screw it, let's go. Let's go to the game. We were just going to watch it at home. We were just going to go to the bar. Let's go. And that's quite interesting to me. So I had to share that for a few minutes. And look, it's not like fans can't get tickets on certain sites anyways, right? That are guaranteed and everything like that. But Titans, if they're purchased through the Titans, and again, I'll read this as it, after tickets are purchased directly from the Titans or through approved NFL sites, they can't be transferred to anyone else until 24 hours before kick. So it's 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Nashville time. Either way, quite interesting. But let's get to the part of this. I just spent 5 minutes on that, and well, again, I think it's going to be negative on them. But the Titans are the number 1 seed, and their defense is a big reason why. And they have 2 beasts in the middle of that defense. They have 2 really good safeties. And the interesting thing to me is how this defense, they much like Lou Anarumo's defense, kind of vary and mold into whoever they're facing. And that's the thing that I've noticed with them so far this year, is they'll mold and they'll change depending on their opponent. And so you look at it and you look at how they could potentially play the Bengals. And after talking with some Titans people that have watched this team all year, I think they're going to play a lot of 2 high safety early on and try to take away the deep ball. And we had a good conversation on the Locked On Bengals podcast with the host of Locked On Titans. And Tyler basically was like, look, he's going to try, he being Mike Vrabel, is going to try to limit the downfield stuff and make Joe Burrow be patient. And if that's the case, the way Joe Burrow's seeing defenses, the way he's reading things, the way he's taking care of the ball, okay, I like the Bengals offense. I like their chances, right? I do. And that's the part of it, is like, if Burrow's playing at this level, outside of just getting so much heat on him that he won't be able to breathe, and the way he's moving in the pocket, I don't know if that's necessarily true. To me, it's hard to imagine the Bengals score, less than 23, 27 points. And my minimum is always 30. I always require them to score 30. That's just where I'm at. It's not going to necessarily take 30 to win, but that's the minimum that I want them at each and every week. And this week is no different. And, I get it. Jeffrey Simmons is, a really good defensive lineman. Danico Autry is a very good defensive lineman. Again, they have good safeties. But, when I listen to Joe Burrow and how confident he is, I think it's not just cockiness, right? It's not that. It's he's seeing everything so damn well that he feels confident enough to wear glasses. Here's a couple clips from Joe Burrow.
Get off the ball. They're very explosive off the ball. You can tell that they're well coached in their scheme. They don't, there's not guys running wide open across the field. They really understand their scheme. Their defensive front is explosive and aggressive. So we're going to have our work cut out for us.
What do you know about Mike Vrabel, Joe?
I know he was one of my favorite players growing up. He played both sides of the ball, so that was always fun to see when I was young. You didn't see that a lot in the NFL. And then he's been a great coach. He was at Ohio State right before I got there. I think he recruited Sam when he was at Ohio State. So he's, it's been fun to see him go from that to where he's at now. As seasons have gone on, I've got better and better throughout the season. And I think that's just because, you have more reps. You continue to get practice reps. You continue to get game reps. And the more reps that you accumulate, the better that you're going to play at, just because you have those fresh in your mind throughout the year.
And maybe my favorite clip of Burrow this week is the one he made about his glasses. Oddly enough, I said how he's seeing the field well. The thing he said about his glasses, and he doesn't plan on busting out the Cartier shades this week, but maybe in a few weeks.
What are the chances we see the Cartier shades again?
I got a couple of them. Maybe we'll see him. Maybe we'll see him in a couple weeks. Probably not back to back though.
You know what that implies, right? You know what that implies? I do. I'm not going to say it, but you know what that implies. Look, this team has put themselves in a position with this quarterback. We're not used to feeling this way. And last week it was the same thing. I had to tell a bunch of Bengals fans, look, they are going to do it. I was very confident. I'm not as confident in this game, but when you have the better quarterback and you have a quarterback playing like Joe Burrow, it's something that, again, none of us are used to feeling. Normally it's the other way where it's like, all right, well, the Bengals can win if Andy Dalton has this, and this around him. If all of these pieces work, well, I'm not talking about, if the Bengals offensive line is good or if they win in the trenches. They're not, I just assume they're hopefully gonna, do a 48-52 split, almost, try to break even, get a C grade. Because if they do that, if they're just okay, he's just playing so great that it won't matter. And again, they have good defensive linemen, but the way Joe Burrow has gone off script all season long is just not all season, most of the season now. I would say the past 8 weeks especially, it's just been special, like high level, crazy special. In the Tyler Boyd play last week, I know the whistle part of it got in the way, but no, that was an amazing play. The whistle had nothing to do with Burrow making that throw to Boyd or Boyd being open. It was just a great off-script play, and I do think this could be a big Tyler Boyd game. And we've seen that time and time and time again. So I asked Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator, about that. What goes on in his mind? Because we know Zach Taylor for a year and a half, essentially, he's like, all right, Joe, throw it away in his mind because it's just natural. But Zach admitted to me, and you heard it in our post-game reaction after the Raiders win, he's like, now I just kind of know what's happening, and I've just kind of learned to accept it. He's conditioned himself to realize Joe's just different, and it would take some time, right? So I asked Brian Callahan the same question about what goes on in his mind when Joe Burrow does Joe things.
Two things, both one good, one bad. One is the same as Zach's, where my eyes immediately go to the chase. And sometimes he's got such a feel for it, but I'm always looking behind him to see what's coming. And not that I can do anything from where I'm at. It's just more of a, oh my God, please get this ball out of your hand and don't get hit and lose the ball. The second one is what happens more often is my eyes go down the field as he gets out of the pocket. And I just know that once he breaks contain and that ball goes up, that it's likely going to be a completion when he gets a chance to get out there. It's sort of the same feeling I had when you watch Patrick Mahomes in that at the end of the half against us. He got out there at the numbers, and all of a sudden his body language changed to one where he was just about to launch the ball down the field, and you go, oh my God, where is this going? It's probably going to be a touchdown just because it usually is. And I have that same feeling when Joe gets out in the perimeter. When he gets out there and I can see his eyes downfield and I see what's happening downfield, I got a whole lot of confidence that something really good's about to happen.
I thought that was a really, really good answer. Speaking of Brian Callahan, by the way, interviewing for the Denver Broncos head coaching job on Thursday afternoon. So good luck to him there. Obviously, I hope he stays because he's done a hell of a job helping Joe Burrow develop into one of the game's best young quarterbacks. And look, if you're still looking for gear for Saturday's game, you got to get to Rivertown Inquiry. Yes, Rivertown Inquiry. We talk about them every week here, and I wear Rivertown Inquiry gear. You can check it on my Instagram. A lot of my YouTube videos, I'm wearing Rivertown Inquiry gear. They have the special Tiger Lock that my co-host of the Locked On Bengals podcast, Jake Lisco, and I put out there and partnered with Doug and the Rivertown Inquiry crew. Plus, they have so many awesome things. You've seen me wear the Cincinnati sweatshirt. You got to check them out. And it's not like you can just go online. You can go in person and try these things on in person, and they're open all weekend long. So whether you want to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter. They're open 10 to 6 on Friday, 10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday. So they're only closed on Mondays, but 10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, Saturday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So, heck, Bengals get a dub on Saturday. Sunday, you could go treat yourself to some gear. Heck, before the game on Saturday, you'll have plenty of time because they'll close at 5. The game starts at 4:30. You'll have plenty of time if you're not making the trip to Nashville. And obviously, all the out-of-towners, rivertowninquiry.com. If you're looking for the Tiger Lock shirt, I recommend it. All you got to do is search James Rapien in the search bar. We're getting there. We're getting there. We have a special interview, a sit-down, a one-on-one with a former Bengals wide receiver that had many big catches and plenty of big games and helped the Bengals make the playoffs way back when. If you put the tea leaves together, you'll know who it is. Lindsey Patterson talks with him later today. We have our prediction, and then it's Nashville, baby. So stay tuned here. Any news, we will have it for you on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So for Andrew Fox-Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.